Okay, in this short video, we're just going to look at some main muscles that are somewhat superficial of the upper extremity. Here we're looking at the shoulder and arm from the lateral view. And what's nice about this is that you can test yourself, right? You can look at the numbers and go, all right, what are they? So here is the medial border, right? Got to get ourselves oriented. Medial border of the scapula, spine of the scapula, clavicle. And now we're at the anterior here, posterior here. So this is anterior clavicle. Number 8 is the pec major. 7 is the deltoid, specifically middle deltoid right here. Then you have anterior deltoid and posterior deltoid. So what are some of the actions? Middle deltoid is responsible for shoulder abduction. Anterior deltoid, shoulder flexion. Posterior deltoid, shoulder extension. Remember, anterior and posterior are always going to do opposite things. They're antagonistic to one another. Right up here on the top, there's no number, but that would be the supraspinatus. Number 2, infraspinatus. And infraspinatus is this, and this, right? All of this is infraspinatus. Number 4 is teres minor. So you have S, I, T, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor. Those are 3 of the 4 rotator cuff muscles. Those 3 have a common insertion site, and that common insertion site is on the greater tubercle of the humerus. Here is the teres major, not a rotator cuff muscle. Shoulder abduction, shoulder external rotation, shoulder external rotation, teres major, shoulder internal rotation. Number 9, that's the biceps brachii. This is the triceps brachii. This is the lateral head. And then between, it looks like it's sandwiched between number 10 is the brachialis. Okay. When we look at the scapula from the anterior view, this is our 4th rotator cuff muscle, number 6. That's the subscapularis. It inserts on the lesser tubercle. Here's part of the pec major. Here's the anterior deltoid. And then here's the biceps brachii in the front. And then this one right here, that would be the short head, because that originates on the coracoid process. Okay, so now the arm is upside down, but we could see number 6, the subscapularis. We could see teres major. Now, teres major and pec, teres major and the lats, the latissimus dorsi, they have an insertion site that's almost identical. And that's why you see like a close overlap to each other. They're going to insert on that bicipital groove. Okay, they're going to insert on the bicipital groove of the humerus. Anterior arm, biceps brachii. Number 11, triceps brachii. Now remember, this is more medial. So this is the medial head. All the way on the outside would be the lateral head, but you can't see it from this perspective. Okay, now if we look at the forearm, We can see 12, 13, and 14. 12 is the pronator teres. 13 is the flexor carpi radialis. 14 is the palmaris longus. And you can see a little bit of this tendon here. That's the flexor carpi ulnaris. You just can't see the belly of it too well. Okay, and right here is the bicipital aponeurosis. This is the biceps brachii, and its insertion kind of has a broad, flat tendon. So they call it the bicipital aponeurosis. On the posterior forearm, let's look and focus on the forearm only. We'll look at 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Let's look at 18, 19, and 20 first. That's that mobile wad of 3, where 20 is the brachioradialis, and then 18 and 19 are the ECRB and ECRL, the extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor carpi radialis longus. That's the mobile wad of 3 that you grab when you pinch the lateral forearm. 16 and 17. Let's look at number 17 first. This is that large extensor tendon that we could see going to digits 2, 3, and 4. That's the extensor digitorum, deep to the extensor retinaculum. And then number 16 is the extensor, did I say number 16? Yep, extensor carpi, and it's on the pinky side, extensor carpi ulnaris. So it extends the wrist, and because it's on the ulnar side, it can also ulnar deviate the wrist. So this is ulnar deviation, and that's radial deviation. Ulnar deviation, radial deviation. Ulnar deviation is wrist adduction, and then radial deviation is wrist abduction.